Hello and welcome to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. It's Jules Chabot here, welcoming you wherever you are in the world, whatever time you're tuning in. If you are regular viewers or if this is your first time and you just stumbled across this particular live, then welcome and thank you. And I'm a great believer in there being no such thing as coincidence. So if you have just arrived, hang on in there, have a listen and just see if it resonates with you, the message that I'm going to share today. I do my best to do a weekly wildlife wisdom, Friday, 10 o'clock UK time. Doesn't happen every week. Sometimes I can't do it or I'm not well or whatever. But I do try to keep this going as regularly as possible. And each week I ask for and then receive some type of guidance as to which species of wild animal wishes to share a message with us. And this week was no different. I realised that the date today was St Valentine's Day, which for me, and I think a lot of people in today's modern world, sort of conjures up a number of questions around what it actually means, whether it's just a commercialized, hollow sort of way of putting up the prices in restaurants and for flowers and all of those things. On the cynical side, that seems to be a big driver for a lot of things that we so-called celebrate these days. But what is the deeper meaning of that, and what is love really all about? And so I was pondering that, and I was sort of in a daydreamy state. Hi Susie, welcome. Happy St Valentine's Day to you as well, my love. Welcome. So I was pondering that and sort of went into a bit of a daydreamy state, and who should turn up fairly rapidly but the beautiful giant pandas. And I don't think I've shared this before here, but back in 2012, so well over a decade ago, I was invited along with I think it was about 20 of us from around the world to go to China to spend time. We were there for about 3 weeks with the giant pandas. They have a research and breeding centre in Chengdu where they are doing their best to try and ensure the onward future of giant pandas, because they are critically endangered, in spite of recent studies that are coming out trying to suggest that's reversing. It's a very slow process for a number of reasons. And so I was lucky enough. It was a very, very bittersweet sort of experience for many reasons. But I was lucky enough at the core of it to spend time very close to these beautiful giant pandas. And they weren't free. They weren't living in their natural habitat. They were in this breeding and research centre. But the people that cared for them, I genuinely felt, as a result of seeing the day-to-day life, really do love the pandas and care for them to the best of their ability. And although I always find it difficult being in places where animals that are wild by nature are imprisoned, if you like, I knew it wasn't an accident that I'd been invited there. In fact, it was, sort of miraculous how it happened. An email out of the blue that I thought was a hoax and was about to delete. But then when I looked into it the next morning, I realised it was a legitimate request. So these beautiful beings, and this is the message that I want to share today, had a lovely way of circumnavigating your brain and going straight to your heart. And one of the many things that was so wonderful, and I feel so privileged to have had this time with these beings, is that their heart, their energy in their heart center is so enormous. I mean, they're these great big bears, you know, well over 6 foot when they're up on their hind legs. Great big bears, but incredibly gentle and peaceful beings. And they are able, and I watched this on many days. I'd get some time where I could just sit and watch from the outside of the big enclosures, all these tourists coming through and standing, and they'd be really, really noisy and distracted and chaotic, and lots of shouting and, you know, running around, and, you know, lots of typical sort of human busyness. But then as they stood and engaged, maybe unconsciously but subconsciously, with these beautiful big bears, the energy would come down bit by bit, and eventually I'd watch this wave, because then these people would go and others would come, but the wave would be noisy, 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 coming into calm, coming into peace, coming into love, and then just being with them. And there would be this element of silence, you know, this beautiful, peaceful silence where I could feel the energy just settling, and it would hold for a little while, sometimes more, some with some more groups for longer than others, and then off they would go, and then the next lot, the next wave of people would arrive, and the same thing would happen. And I found this absolutely wonderful to watch, but it didn't surprise me at all. When I first went into the area where the pandas would come in to have health checks, and they used clicker training to help them. They'd give them a reward, a piece of apple or whatever, and they would then get them to sit on a weigh scales and things, so they'd be in close proximity. My first encounter was with a beautiful male panda called Maylan. And as I came into the room, I just burst into tears. It wasn't sad tears. It was just the amount of love coming from this huge bear, and how soft and gentle he was. It was like meeting some, you know, a million-year-old ancient being, which of course they are, because pandas have been on the planet for at least 6 million years, probably more like 10 million years. And they have an awful lot of wisdom, and their souls are very beautiful. So that was the environment. I went over there and I had this incredible time, this journey with them, and even went up into the mountains to discover where they would live, and a few still live in the wild environment, out in the outer areas surrounding Chengdu. And one night, as was often the case with my messages that I received from animals, I woke up at 2 o'clock, and I knew the pandas were going to give me a message. I could feel it sort of coming into my system. I woke up about 2 a.m. and I grabbed my pen and paper, which I always keep by the bed, and I just wrote the message. And it was what they call sort of automatic writing, so I wasn't conscious of what I was writing. I was half asleep, and my hand was just writing, as was the case with a lot of the messages that I've received. And then in the morning I woke up and read the message, and it was just one of my most favorite messages, I think. And I just thought, for today, when we talk about love and what it is for humanity in today's world, I just think that this message is beautiful. So I'm going to read it to you. But first of all, I'm going to just show you. This is a photo I took of Maylan. Isn't he beautiful? I mean, he's the most gorgeous being I think I've ever had the privilege to meet. And just, you know, their eyesight's very poor, so they don't see nearly as well as we do. But my goodness, their energetic vibration and their presence is mesmerizing, and really, for me, sums up what real love is. And I wanted to share their message. So I'm going to stop talking now and just read you the message from my book. Benevolence. A force of benevolence that is akin to all you will ever see or feel. Love of a level so deep and profound you can only feel joy and humble awakening. Polarities are never truth. Only balance is truth. The things that seem possible are indeed that. You only need to allow it for it to transpire. Align your sense of worth to your feelings of worthiness and love for yourself and all things, and your dreams will become manifest, like a lotus flower unfurling. We panda bears come forward to you in this way right now as a symbol of hope in a world full of doubt and negativity. We come as ambassadors of light and truth and desire for you to share with all how much we need to release feelings of unworthiness, feelings that make us small or insignificant, and to know that we are always whole and complete. We stand in our benevolent power, seeking you to stand in yours. Stand firmly rooted in your tree, your connection to earth and all through your feet. Yet be loose and flexible. Go with whatever comes your way and embrace all with hope and awe, reverence and gratitude. Know that you are divine source and worthy as an equal. Dispel any fear or judgment. You know your divine path. Only you can. No others could, as they have their own to develop and glean learning from. Our magnificence comes in our connection to all that is, our total beingness of ourselves. We are who we are. It allows a peace inside us that no matter what, whether we are here in physical form or not, we are divine source energy and are eternal. All changes, the cycles of life and love, run through patterns that are natural and aligned. Earthquakes, floods, tsunamis, typhoons are all natural things. It is only humanity that has forgotten these truths and sought to deny nature its ways of cycle and movement. You must go with the cycles and movement, for only resistance of this movement creates blockages and flows to stagnate. Stagnation brings deterioration and mind-made madness ensues. Come to peace with us. Be peace with us. Take a breath and feel for stillness, peace at the core of all your beingness. We will see you there and dance together in a celebration of universal unity and balance. The harmony of love and light with the dark of deep inner creation and diversity melds together to create a dynamic, spontaneous, moving, evolving energy that pulses through us. Do not mistake inactivity as laziness, as you call it. There is much to be created in stillness, and change emanates from stillness. Without it, fluidity and flow is always limited. A time for stillness, a time for dynamic, graceful, flowing action. Honour this cycle of exchange, and you will find us beside you, with you, as one with you and all of nature, all of universal energy. And in this balance, true benevolent power is attained. Peace, harmony, united balance to and for all the pandas. And I channeled this message on the 28th of October 2012 whilst in Chengdu, China. So I'm going to give you another chance to just tune in with Maylan. Let's see if I can get him closer to you. There we go. And his beautiful energy. So there you are. What a beautiful boy, and what a beautiful message. I received that as one of the last messages before I was ready to publish my book. And all the way home from China, when I was coming back on my long journey, I was receiving messages from these beautiful giant pandas commanding me that I put their message first in this book. So, of course, you know, after a little bit of human resistance, well, that wasn't the way I was going to do it. I obviously knew that I needed to honour that. And so I popped their message right at the beginning. And if you love that message and you're interested in my book, because I often mention my book and then people ask, so I'm going to say you can still get this book. It's available on Amazon and it's called The Purpose of Species. And Julie Lyons is my name before I married and decided to shift to Jules as well. So it is me. And it looks like this. I don't know if you can see it with the shine from the window, but yeah, so if you're interested, there's 44 messages in there from different species. Most of them are channeled by me, but there are some guest channelers in there as well. And it is beautiful to dip in and out of that for guidance. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you can, you know, just go away and ponder a little about that message, because it's pretty deep and profound. And I think if you take that message and overlay that onto today and the significance that humanity have decided to create today, I think it will be a really beneficial pondering for you, and to think about what love is to you, what it means, what real love is, unconditional love, and how we can practice that more readily and more frequently in our lives. Because again, I think, as many wise people have said, and many animals all know the truth, you know, love is really what life is all about. But there are many variations and alternative meanings of the word love that seem to be commonplace in humanity now that don't really stack up to that. So there you are. Oh, Susie's saying, I have it right here. Yes, bless you. I know you've got a copy of my book and I hope you love it, Susie. I am at some point, I would like to do a second book. And I'm sure if the time is right, when the time is right, it will happen. But yes, it is something that I regularly pop over to and just open randomly to see which animal wants to share a message. So, oh, bless you, Susie, saying, yeah, yes. So I'll get there. I've been saying it for ages, but I feel it will happen. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you with that beautiful panda message. I hope you enjoyed that. I'd love to hear any questions or any sharings that you have here in the comments. Do let me know. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, I will get back to you as soon as I can, because I love to get your thoughts and your reactions. So all being well, I'll be back next Friday as usual. As far as I know, I'll let you know in the week next week. Have a lovely day. Be kind and gentle and loving to yourself and others around you. And I'll look forward to seeing who's coming forward to share their wisdom next week. So lots of love. Take care. See you for now. Bye.